So I'm here with Charles Martinet, the one and only, the voice of Mario. Nice to meet you. Hi, Charles.
Yeah. Hello to all of my friends at GAMES.CH. It's me, Mario. Woohoo! You guys, you're number one. Ha ha!
So welcome to Switzerland, first of all. Is it your first time, or have you been?
No,
here?
I've come many times to Switzerland. It's a gorgeous country. I've spent more time in Geneva and around the areas down there than here, but Zurich. But this is great. Bern is beautiful. The Swiss toys, what a great event. You know, it's wonderful to be here. Yeah. Really a beautiful country.
So since we are at the Swiss Toy Expo here, do you have any toy from your childhood that you remember fondly that you used to play with? Or
You know, we always had lots of things. You know, we made toy guns and toy knives back in those days. It wasn't quite as friendly sort of atmosphere. But what else did we have? We had little tricycles, and you know, in my family, always baseball and football. You know, growing up in America.
All right, so I think the story is pretty well known about how you got to be the voice of Mario, but did you have any idea that you would be doing it 20 years later still, or were you unaware of how big this was going to be?
I had absolutely no idea. I didn't know who Mario was. I didn't know who Nintendo was. I had no idea, but I was loving the voice when I was doing it. I loved the character, and as I discovered more and more about the character, the more and more I love about the character. And I'm thrilled because it's a tribute to the gaming culture at Nintendo that people love video games. They want to make the greatest game, the most fun experience, and that alone keeps that integrity going so beautifully in the games. And so people naturally, they want more adventure, more fun, and I love the character, you know, full of optimism and joy and fun and adventure, and you know, facing adversity with a let's go, you know. That's a great way to live your life.
That's true. So you didn't come empty-handed. You actually brought Super Mario Maker with you. I think the reactions have been pretty great so far. What's your impression?
I absolutely love Super Mario Maker. You know, I love that you can play just the levels that are right there, that you can create your own, that you can upload, you can download more and play. And I've seen really great levels. It's amazing how people have a certain level of genius that they develop in their own way. You know, you whether you know it or not, when you start creating those levels on and on, you start developing a personality. And just like we've all had for so many years of getting to the great mind of Mr. Miyamoto and the creative teams, you go, oh wait, I'll bet there's something fun over there. You do the same thing. You discover the way that you create games that's unique to you, or levels that are unique to you. And I just think it's wonderful. Really, really great.
So now with Super Mario Maker, people can, you know, develop their own levels, their own games, basically. You think that means we're not going to see a new 2D Mario for a long time? Are you going to be out of a job soon, or?
I don't know. I guess everybody can call me up and say, "Hey, we've got 3 seconds we need." No, I think, you know, I think this is just one more great way of expanding things, blowing it out of the water. You know, nobody expected side-scrolling, nobody expected 3 dimensions, nobody expected getting off your couch and jumping up and down and bowling and running and doing things, or dancing. And now I never expected Super Mario Maker, and who knows? All I know is that what is next will also be a huge surprise for everyone.
Okay, so you know something that you can't talk about, huh?
You know, I know nothing. I got to find out when I read Nintendo.com.ch.
Yes. So one other reason I ask is because I think you turned 60 last month, 2 weeks ago.
Did, just 2 weeks
Happy
ago.
birthday, belated.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're welcome.
You. Thank you.
So are you going to be around for another 20 years, or you still have energy in yourself?
I certainly hope so. I at least another 25, hopefully 35.
We hope so too.
Thank you.
We have some questions from our readers, from our Facebook fans. And,
hello, Facebook fans.
The first one's from Robert.
Hello, Facebook fans. It's Luigi.
And I think he's referring to an Easter egg from Super Mario 64 when, you know, Mario falls asleep and he talks about ravioli and spaghetti.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, what do you dream about when you...
What I dream about is a spaghetti, ravioli, mamma mia. Actually, you know, sometimes my favorite dreams are about flying, and I often fly as Mario flies in Galaxy, but really oddly enough, and it's a very funny thing, sometimes I fly standing up, and when I see Super Mario Maker, and I see Mario standing, and you go, you trail it, I thought, Wait a minute. Somebody saw my dreams.
All right. So Philip has another question. He wants to know what game you spent the most time on doing voice acting for.
Oh, that's a very good question. What game did I spend the most time? I don't know what game that would be. That's a really tough one. You know, when we do multiple characters, like when we do Mario Striker, remember that game? It had Mario, Wario, Luigi, Waluigi, you know?
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Or Mario Kart. You know, sometimes there's a lot that goes into that sort of game, yeah.
So do you do all the recordings new for every game, or do you know if they...
You know, we do all kinds of new recordings for games, yeah. It's a wonderful, fun process.
So no rehash from old...
You know, there's a library that's growing, I will say that much. There's a library that's growing that, you know, hopefully will be usable for at least another 100 years.
Yeah, hopefully. So last question, one for me personally.
Sure.
Did you ever consider what Mario would sound like if he didn't have an Italian accent, but a British or German or Chinese one instead?
You know, when I crashed that audition and he said Italian plumber from Brooklyn, the first thing that came to mind to me was, hey, get out of my face, I'm working here. Or, hey, what do you want from me? I'm a plumber, all right? And I thought, you know, I want to do something that's fun and joyful, particularly if I'm going to do it for 8 hours a day, talking to people, you know, hidden behind the camera, behind the microphone. You know, if I'm going to do that, and I also believe always that with children, it's a wonderful thing to be at Swiss Toy, so many wonderful children. It's like, you know, you can always be funny without being hurtful, without, you know, aiming at them, but bouncing it back. You know, Wario, have a rotten day, yahoo! You know, that's a comedy that comes back. It's not mean and, you know, well, Luigi, poor little me, that sort of thing. You know, and so for me, it was really important to make fun and make joyful comedy. And the voice that came to mind was, let's go, mamma mia, hee hee, you know.
So you sometimes have like a real Wario day yourself, like when you wake up in the morning and feel like, oh, I really don't want to do this today, or I'm tired, or jet lagged, or whatever.
You know, the great thing about the characters is they're all real, and every character has to have reality to it, you know. And of course, some days I wake up and go, oh, you know. But of course, I hear dun 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 dun. Here we go. And once I hear that, I start perking up, you know. Right. I actually have a lot of Mario music on my iPad.
Okay. So thank you very much for your time, and also for all the great memories you brought to us through the years, for the childhood memories and everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for playing my games. You number one. Ha ha!